Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, in the last lecture, another nonlinear data structure, the graph, been defined and discussed. Moreover, different terminologies related to the graph also been explored in the previous lecture. That lecture also explained the sequential representation of the graph by adjacency matrix and path matrix. Finally, the Warshall's algorithm for a graph without weighted edges being described in detail in the previous lecture. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's lecture, the shortest path algorithm, also known as Floyd's algorithm, will be explored for the graph G with weighted edges by assuming that G is a directed graph with M nodes starting from V1 and ending at Vm. If G is a weighted graph where each edge E in G is assigned a non-negative number W of E called the weight or length of the edge E, then G will be maintained in memory by its weight matrix W along with the entries Wij such that We indicates the weight of the edge between Vi and Vj. Otherwise, Wij entry equals to 0 if there is no edge from Vi to Vj. Dear viewers, the path matrix P in the previous lecture indicates whether or not there are paths between the nodes. The shortest path matrix Q describes the lengths of the shortest paths between the nodes, or more exactly, a matrix Q containing the entry Qij, indicating the length of shortest path from Vi to Vj. The shortest path algorithm, also called Floyd's algorithm, is a modification of Warshall's algorithm where the sequence of matrices Q0, Q1 up to Qm defined over any sequence k such that Qkij entry indicating the smaller of the length of the preceding path from Vi to Vj, or the sum of the lengths of the preceding paths from Vi to Vk and then from Vk to Vj. More exactly, ladies and gentlemen, the equation mentioned in this slide explains that the Qk matrix for current path selects the minimum length of either the direct edge between Vi and Vj of the preceding path, or the sum of the lengths between Vi to Vk and Vk to Vj of the preceding paths. The initial matrix Q0 is same as the weight matrix W, except that each 0 in W is replaced by infinity, or a very large number. The final matrix Qm will be the desired matrix Q. The shortest path algorithm can also be used for a graph G without weighted edges by simply assigning the weight 1 to each edge E in G. Dear viewers, the algorithm explained earlier is mentioned formally in this slide. This algorithm finds the shortest path matrix Q of the graph G. Dear students, another form to represent the graph in memory is the linked representation, also known as adjacency structure, because a sequential representation in memory by adjacency matrix A has a number of drawbacks, such as it may be difficult to insert or delete nodes in a graph G because the size of A may need to be changed and the nodes may need to be reordered, which may require lots of changes in adjacency matrix A. If the number of edges is O of m or O of m log m, then the matrix A will be sparse, mostly containing 0 entries and wasting great deal of space. Accordingly, G is usually represented in memory by a linked representation, also known as adjacency structure. Dear viewers, the directed graph G and its corresponding adjacency list in the form of table are shown in this slide. Moreover, the adjacency list contains adjacency nodes, also known as successors or neighbors. Ladies and gentlemen, two standard ways to traverse the graph include the breadth first search that uses a queue as an auxiliary structure to hold the nodes for future processing. The other traversing scheme is called depth first search that applies this tag for the same purpose. Dear students, during the execution of a traversing algorithm, each node n of the graph G will be in one of the three states called the status of the node n, such that the status 1 indicates the ready state, which is the initial state of the node n. The status 2 shows the waiting state if the node n is either on the queue or on the stack waiting to be processed. Finally, the status 3 represents the processed state in which the node n has been processed. Ladies and gentlemen, generally the breadth first search, shortly called BFS, commences the traversing from the starting node A of a graph G. Initially, the node A is examined. After that, all the neighbors of node A are examined. Then, all the neighbors of node A are examined, so on and so forth. The keep tracking of the neighbors is done in a way that no node is processed more than once. This is accomplished by using a queue to hold the nodes that are waiting to be processed and by a status field telling the current status of any node. Dear viewers, the breadth first search algorithm of the graph G is formally defined here in this slide. Only those nodes will be processed which are reachable from the starting node A. Therefore, algorithm must be modified when traversing from any other starting node. Dear students, the breadth first search algorithm is further explained through an example in which a graph G represents the daily flights between cities of some airline, and where the minimum path from city A to city J has to be found. The adjacency list is also presented in this slide for further assistance. Dear viewers, initially add the starting node A to the queue and add null to orig, where orig indicates the origin. Remove the front element A from the queue by incrementing the front pointer and add to the queue the neighbors of the node A. The origin A of each of the three edges is added to orig. Ladies and gentlemen, as indicated by the diagrams, next remove the front element F from the queue by incrementing the front pointer of the queue and add to the queue the neighbors of element F. After that, remove the front element C from the queue and add to the queue the neighbors of C which are not in the ready state. The neighbor F of C is not added to the queue since F is not in the ready state because it has already been added to the queue. Dear viewers, as depicted by the diagrams again, remove the front element B from the queue and add to the queue the neighbors of B, the ones that are not in the ready state. Only G is added to the queue, as you may have noticed, because the other neighbor C is not in the ready state. After that, remove the front element D from the queue and add to the queue the neighbors of D, the ones that are in the ready state. Dear students, after that, the removal of the front element G from the queue is accomplished such that only those neighbors of the G that are in the ready state are added to the queue. Finally, the front element E is removed from the queue and the neighbors of E that are in the ready state are added to the queue. As soon as J is added to the queue, the process stops. Since J is the final destination, backtracking from J using the array orig to find the required path P is then accomplished. Ladies and gentlemen, Generally, the depth first search algorithm also begins the traversing from the starting node A of a graph G. Initially, the node A is examined. After that, each node along a path P beginning at A is examined, processing the neighbor of A. Then the neighbor of A are examined, so on and so forth. After coming to a dead end, that is, end of the path P, backtracking is accomplished on P until continuing along another path P dash, and so on. Stag is used in depth first search, and status is used to indicate the current status of a node. Dear viewers, the depth first search algorithm of the graph G is formally indicated in this slide. Only those nodes will be processed which are reachable from the starting node A. Therefore, the algorithm must also be modified when traversing from any other starting node. Dear students, the depth first search algorithm is also discussed with an example in which a graph G represents the daily flights between cities of some airline, and where the nodes reachable from J will have to be printed. Dear listeners, to accomplish this all, initially push J onto the stack and print nothing. After that, pop and print the top element, which is J, from the stack, and then push onto the stack only those neighbors of J that are in the ready state. After that, pop and print the top element K from the stack, and then push onto the stack only those neighbors of K that are in the ready state. Ladies and gentlemen, pop and print the top element G, and then push onto the stack all the neighbors of G that are in the ready state. As you may have noticed that only C is pushed onto the stack, and E must not be pushed again, as it is not in the ready state and it has already been pushed. After that, pop and print the top element C, and then push onto the stack only those neighbors of C that are in the ready state. Dear listeners, again pop and print the top element F, and push onto the stack all the neighbors of F that are in the ready state. The only neighbor D of F is not pushed onto the stack, as D is not in the ready state and it has already been pushed. Pop and print the top element E, and then push onto the stack the neighbors of E that are in the ready state. None of the three neighbors of E is in the ready state. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, pop and print the top element D, and then push onto the stack all the neighbors of D that are in the ready state. As you may have noticed again This tag is now empty. Therefore, the depth first search algorithm of D starting at J is now completed. Accordingly, the nodes which were printed are precisely the nodes which are reachable from J. These nodes include J, K, G, C, F, E, and finally D. Dear students, in today's lecture, the Floyd's algorithm to find the shortest path either for the undirected or for the directed graph being discussed. Moreover, two standard ways, namely the breadth first search and the depth first search to traverse the graph, also being explored with examples. For further details and studies, you are hereby advised to consult the 8th chapter of Data Structure book by Lipschutz. Till next lecture, stay home, stay safe, keep learning.